All right, so I think we will just proceed. So welcome once again to Bincom ICT Career Talk. And while this is ongoing, I would love that we get to connect with each other. So simply send in your name, what you do, and what your expectations for this program is. I would like to meet everyone here. I've seen that we have our speakers already in the house, so I'm just shortly we'll be bringing up our speakers. So in the meantime, let's get to connect. So my name is Joy Nkano, and I'm the team lead for the PMO office, Income Dev Center. I am really, really excited to meet each and every one of you. Okay, this particular Bincom Dev Center, so I'll just do a little intro on what we are, who we are, what we do, and other aspects. So permit me to share my screen. Okay, so all right, so I said this event is brought to you by Bincom Dev Center. So community events and projects is one of the services Bincom offers, which you get to know more about it. Okay, so who is Bincom and what are we? So Bincom Dev Center is a multi-location technology talent development and solutions platform. Our locations are first virtually near you, while we also have locations in physical locations in Yaba, Lagos State. We have in Ibadan, Oyo State. We have in Kano State. We have in Kaduna State, Ogun State, Delta State, United Kingdom, and we still have plans to expand to as many locations as possible. These are some of the services Bincom offers. We have Bincom Academy. If Bincom Academy utilizes the Montessori approach in training participants in basic skills needed for the modern technology ecosystem. If you're just starting out in tech and you want to be informed, you're still trying to find that right path or where to actually settle, Bincom Academy is the best platform for you to start with. And then we have Bincom Tech Internship. It is designed to enable people who at their intermediate skills level gain mastery and expertise over a period of time. So it's one thing learning a tech skill, it's another thing getting an experience from that or getting experience from it, because you obviously want to learn new roles and the rest. So Bincom Tech Internship is designed specially for you. Then we have Bincom Tech Apprenticeship. It is an industrial attachment at various skill levels to gain experience and on-the-job training. We also have Bincom community events and projects. I mentioned this, and ICT Career Talk is one of those events that Bincom Dev Center organizes. Our aim is geared at giving back to the community and building the tech ecosystem. So we focus on informing and exposing the youth to the current technology trends and how to prepare for the future in technology. We also have light spaces. Um, we provide helpful workspaces intended to encourage collaboration and also drive innovation in the startup ecosystem. We have spaces that is created and designed for various events like seminars and get together. Bincom Global Tech Program. If you're looking on gaining a skill or learning a skill, gaining experience, gaining exposure, Bincom Global Tech Program is the best for you. if you want to launch your tech career globally. So this program is a 1 to 2 years program, and it is focused on three key pillars, which is learn skills, gain experience, gain exposure. If you're interested in this program, do watch out for the links in the chat. I'll be dropping viable links in the chat. So if any of these services or any of these programs are of your interest, do well to register and sign up for any of them. We have our Emigrate Tech Visa. It helps you become globally attractive. We could help build a tech profile for you and also a tech-enabled business. And this particular program is also your tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement in countries like UK, USA, Canada, and France, and many more. We have Bincom mentoring platform, which is a structured mentoring solution to help mentors add values to mentees for the purpose of building globally attractive techies. And then we have our Labs by Bincom, which is a 3 to 6 month pre-incubator program that brings together participants to build a digital technology product which will be used by real life users. And then we have our Bincom Tech Career Coaching, which helps individuals to land their next role faster by offering them a combination of coaching, relevant on the job experience, career references, introduction to tech recruiters, and hand holding through application and interview process, and much more. So if you're interested in this service or any of these services, I mentioned earlier that I'll be dropping viable links in the chat. So please do well to register for it, for any of them. Okay, so welcome once again to Bincom ICT Career Talk. Today we have a very interesting theme, which is building a successful tech profile. And we have really amazing speakers with us. We have Mr. Sadiq, and we have Mr. Ahmed Rufai. Trust me, these speakers are a pool of knowledge. So we are going to learn a lot. So I'll urge that we are taking notes, and then we are also preparing our questions, because this is supposed to be an interactive session. So when questions, I wouldn't want us to be mute. I want us to ask as many questions as possible. It's an ability. So please do make good use of it. The topic is something that everyone would like to know. I mean, if you're in tech, it's not so easy getting a new role. You're in tech, you now have to think of branding yourself and putting yourself out there. I think this topic is something that everyone should take part in. So please do well to take note of your questions or drop them in the chat. We'll answer every single question. And please, let's make this session as interactive as possible. Okay, so moving on, I'll be calling um I'll be calling our first speaker for this particular edition of ICT Career Talk. So, but just to give us a brief dive into this particular topic, building a successful tech profile. It is a comprehensive exploration of key strategies and elements essential for crafting a standout professional identity in the tech industry. This topic would delve into various components required to create a compelling tech profile that effectively showcases the skills, the experiences, and the achievements. So you will gain insight into the importance of tailoring your profiles to meet specific tech roles and industries. We would also tell you of how you could leverage online platforms like LinkedIn and personal websites to enhance your own visibility. So trust me, this is going to be an interesting one. So At this point, I'll say fasten your seatbelt because we're about to get into it. So I'll be bringing up our first speaker for this session, and his name is Mr. Sadiq. He is an Oracle Apex software and database developer who has more than 10 years of experience in designing, developing, and maintaining Oracle applications using Apex. He has proven ability to work independently throughout software project lifecycle based on capacity built over the years as part of project team to deliver high quality software that is scalable. He has gained expertise in SQL, PL/SQL, JavaScript and other web development technologies, and he has a strong problem solving and analytical skills drawn from his background as a trained statistician with also communication and interpersonal skills. So please, you can use the reaction. Let's applaud or give a round of applause as we welcome our first speaker, Mr. Sadiq. Please, sir, the floor is yours.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me all?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Yeah,
Sorry, sir.
thank you
I
very
don't know if
much.
this is coming from me, but I can't seem to hear you.
Okay. Good
We can
afternoon.
hear you. Good afternoon.
Maybe it's from your own end.
We can hear.
Okay, good. Can we start or we should wait for the moderator to be on?
Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, our host has already done a good job concerning my introduction, but for the purpose of emphasis, my name is Sadiq Nasiru. I am based in Abuja, and I work with public sector, and I also have my stint in private sector practices before I joined the public sector. However, for the purpose of this meeting, so I have been contacted to present the topic on building a successful tech profile. And talking on that topic is something that I have over the years evolved from, and I'm able to acquire hands-on experience. I have met people in the industry, and I have had certifications, and I have practiced. I have been involved in projects. All that has come together to mold whom I am today, and in my capacity to present to you or to speak on the subject matter. Then talking about, I would have loved to give you the presentation, that is the slide. However, I will make it available to the host for sharing among the participants, either in form of PDF format. However, in order not to take much of our time, then tech skills simply refers to acquiring trade in information and technology among the solutions available in that field of endeavor. Why is it pertinent? Is because ICT provides solutions to all trades. In other words, all occupations has ICT applications to it. now. That is why you have a geographic information system, you have telemedicine, and you also have ArchiCAD. You have so many softwares in different areas of specializations, really, that are all software driven, which is an area in information technology. So to that extent, anybody who seeks to maximize the opportunities, his successes in getting a career that will project him without him necessarily having to waste much of his time or either looking for a paid job or for self-employment. That is the right way to go. And once you have made up your mind that you want to go into the tech industry, the first step you need to take is to search for the IT skills, the areas in ICT field that are available. Putting into consideration your own background, your own personality, and the challenges each of these areas presents. So to that extent, one of the ways to gather information about the various fields in ICT is actually to search online using our search engine. So for instance, what I do some of the times is to search for I could say, the top 10 jobs of 2030. I could say the top 5 jobs in the next 2 years, or I could say in 2026 or 2027. Once you do that, you get a feedback. Then you sift through the results that you get. And this result that you get comes from different organizations. So you could check for 3 or 4 and compare their feedback. For instance, one might tell you that it is data analytics that is the top job for the next 2 years. Another one might tell you that it is cloud computing. However, by the time you compare among 3 or 4 different results, you'll be able to aggregate which one is indeed ranked best among the options that you have. Having got that, then you now begin to look at the details about a particular job of interest you might have selected. What do you need to know about that? You may want to know about the constraints in that endeavor. You may want to know about the strengths of that job, and you may also want to know the opportunities that it provides. You may want to share the opportunity that it provides. Okay, let me try and see if I can share my screen, but that you have to give me some few minutes to do that.
Yeah, it's fine, sir. You are a co-host now. You can do that.
Okay.
So if there's any challenge, you can continue without the slide. Then you share it with us later while we share it for everyone interested.
It's all right. That's my. Hello. Hello.
Hi, sir.
Yes,
Hello.
we can
Okay. You can hear me.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So let me continue. So the essence of selecting a particular skill, just as I said earlier, is to see the opportunities and then at the same time the weakness of that vocation, as well as the strength of that job of choice. Then you now need to look out for individuals that have been in that industry for a while, in that special area of interest, that have been practicing there, that have made success, that you can actually choose to mentor you. Then these are the people that will advise you further. They will give you a guide on the pitfalls, so that you make a smooth ride in that area without necessarily having to encounter the difficulties they experience on their own in their own journey. Having selected a skill of interest, then you now need to you have different options of or approach to learning the particular skill of interest. One way is to do a paid training course. You can subscribe to a paid training program, and either in a physical environment, or you can also do that through learning management system. You can as well choose to download different materials that are available online using um, the video on those subjects, as well as materials, documents, okay, that you can gather. Once you combine these three options, and it is best that you combine these different options to give you the advantages that are inherent in each of these options, to enable you get better experience in the course of learning. Then from there, you move to the idea of practicing all that you have learned. And when practicing all that you have learned, you try to bring out your own projects. This your own project will help you develop a program that will help you apply these features and functions in the modules that are taught or that you have learned in the course of learning the skills. That way you are able to acquire industry experience. This industry experience can also be gathered by way of attaching yourself to a particular company, not necessarily paid. You are not necessarily paid, but because of your intention, your goal of acquiring experience, you approach a company of interest that you know have the facilities or make use of the areas of interest that you are applying yourself to. And when you choose to offer the service for free, it gives you more opportunity to be accommodated. While you are there, you are able to apply your skill in practical environment. This practical environment, the advantage cannot be overemphasized, because by the time you now begin to come up with your own product for use publicly, it will minimize the amount of inherent issues that your end users are likely going to encounter with you. While constructing the solution for a particular industry, while constructing a solution for a particular industry, you should also try to make it available for free. I remember when Yahoo newly came, the telephony aspect of, or the feature of Yahoo Messenger, there was no fee paid. All you need is to subscribe, and then you begin to use their IP phone for long distance call for free. That gives them the opportunity to strengthen the resilience of their application, of their product. So that is the beauty of building a solution for a particular industry for free. And you use that opportunity to learn to improve on the stability, on the resilience of your product. Then, having said that, the next thing you will need to do is to, having succeeded in that area, you now begin to mentor people by way of teaching those who are interested, who are ready to learn in your own skill. That way, you are building up manpower for yourself that will collaborate with you in working on your own project. So that way, you'll be able to also tap from the strength of those people in keeping your work good enough, because any of these areas is too vast for one to know it all. You'll be surprised that you started teaching somebody and he goes into another area within the same sphere of training and bring up a solution or a feature or a function that you learn from. That is why it is also good to mentor people when you have built certain level of capacity. Then you try to develop a kind of a solution for public use generally. Haven't done for one or two industries, either as a small scale industry, or you now begin to, raise or project your products for wider community use. So when you build the commercial solution, based on the strength of the ones you have done for one or two companies before, then you now begin to encounter a lot more traffic to your product, and the stability of the stability of an application that uses or that is registered to 20 people is not the same thing as the one that registered to 100 people. So that is why going public or going commercial is also good enough if you can try that. Having achieved that successfully, the next thing is to go to job sites. Going to job sites enable you to register on platforms like LinkedIn and other job sites similar to the LinkedIn. Okay, then you apply for jobs in those platforms, and that helps you to see their requirements. When you see their requirements and you compare note with what you have, it gives you room to upscale. If you are not particularly suitable to one or two of them, it helps you to leverage your skill up to their standards. And that will also help you to promote your skills. Then if you are lucky that any of them provide you the job, that helps you to keep such jobs as in your testimony. Those jobs that you have done that you can actually market to the public. Even if you haven't got any, those jobs that you have done for individual company, one or two small scale industries, or where you have done your own attachment, you can also itemize them in your own CV as jobs that you have carried out that speaks for you. Then you now go into the area of posting or publishing, marketing your skill online, which is by paying for online for search engines AdSense, so that when such a skill is required, you readily come to mind. You are readily thrown up. This one required paying for it. Even it's also good to highlight at this point that many of the job sites too, in as much as they are free for registration, they have also a paid option that when you subscribe to, they promote you over those that are free. So that makes prospective employers to come across you more readily than those ones that are not paid for. So there's another thing you should take note of when you are talking about success in your tech profile. Then you have to be very active online. Very active online in the sense that you belong to community of skills of the same industry, that people throw up their challenges and you also provide solution. When you do that, you already have your own trademark that is carried along. When such community sees your solution as work for them as often as possible, then they tend to invite you to collaborate with them on projects. That way, you are expanding your reach out, your horizon within the industry. When you combine all of these experiences together, which is in the area of promoting skills now, you have job sites, post adverts, then provide solutions to online community. All of them combines together to promote you. And those are the things that take you to the wider public, and people easily refer you to others as a specialized skill in that area as far as that industry is concerned. And you begin to get invitation from even people that you never knew. That is how your visibility now outgrows you, and then you begin to make impact in your locality as well as beyond. So that brings me to the end of my abridged presentation, which I will make the slide available to you after this time out. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that very insightful session. So please, we'll be taking in questions immediately after the second speaker has gone. So I'll be introducing the second speaker, and our second speaker is Mr. Ahmed Rufai. And um, okay, let me just go over his bio. So this is it. Every time I look back at the journey so far, from working at a fintech startup 4 years ago, through tough and immense deadlines, to volunteering as a Python technical mentor at She Code Africa, Nairobi, to a Python software engineer at Utilityware Abuja, to a Python backend developer at Press Meta Bucci. And a lot of Python roles. So there are actually a lot. Um, he has had the privilege to work with Python, Django, Fast API, TypeScript, Postgres, Oracle, Redis, Docker, AWS, etc. And one of his core goals is to improve the usage of these tools to their best capacity. So Mr. Ahmed is proficient in Python and Golang. So I think we'll also share his LinkedIn profile so we can, get to meet him as well. I'll also be dropping LinkedIn profile for Mr. Nasdik. So if we're in Mr. Sadiq, so if we're interested in, if we want to connect with them, we can easily get access to them at any point, questions and the rest. So please, a round of applause as I welcome our second speaker, Mr. Ahmed Rufai. Please, sir, the floor is yours.
Thanks for having me. It's a nice intro, and I'm really, really glad to be with everyone today. Please kindly confirm you can hear me loud and clear.
So yeah, we can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So I want to give, firstly, to appreciate the Bincom Dev Center for organizing this talk, and also to having Mr. Nasser Sadek for speaking to those wonderful part he has spoken about, and also to the audience for giving their time to join this talk. So I'll just start sharing my screen, and my talk will start from there. Okay, please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thanks. I got this topic and I was very I was it was so nice because the problem is when we started, we didn't have this opportunity to have such talk and have people to guide you through and just like a roadmap. So when we started, it was just on our own, and there are a lot of things we took for granted. So I just want to point them out, and my talk will be centered on career and your profile as a tech enthusiast, and also mostly most of the things I'll be talking about, Mr. Nasir Sadiq has also talked about, which is very wonderful. So the first thing is the little things. Do they really matter? So I just decided to add this because we tend to start a career in tech and we want a very glamorous profile, but we at the end of the day we don't have the background, the career, and what to really back ourselves up on. So that's why I added this slide. So the little things, as I'll be starting from the top, which is a quote from the creator of Node.js, Randall. So he said, "You can never understand everything, but you can push yourself to understand the system." So, and what he said is really interesting because a lot of parts are moving around, but you should understand your fundamentals, your basics. So the very first question I'd throw to the audience is, I'm not going to answer anyone, but I just want you to have a take home and have something rolling on your head. So if you're in tech, for example, front end, back end, DevOps, whatever, yeah, some fundamentals you should have come across and you should have known. So just a little bit on what is the difference between a bit and a byte? Could you tell the difference between a kilobyte and a kibibyte? What is a computer? In fact, this one is very lame, but I'm very sure if I ask the audience, you have 12 people getting it wrong. So what is even a computer? Do you really can't tell? Then how does the internet work? Do you really understand the system, the interconnected systems, how they really work? Unix and Linux, why should I care as a developer? Then lastly, databases, servers, virtual machines, and containers. How do they really work? So these are questions, these are fundamentals that we should understand. And before everyone jumps into tech, before you could have a profile, because every profile is standing on the shoulders of your career. So without a career, your profile would be very empty. So the next slide is I came across this and I've really seen most of persons recommending this, and I also want to use this opportunity to recommend it, how computers really work. So this book, you can find it online anywhere, Amazon, anywhere online. So the book really talks about a lot in the space of tech, because most of the tech newbies these days have no computer science background. So it's not a compulsion you must have, but without that, you'd be missing a lot. So I'd just be recommending this. It talks about a lot you need to know about computers, databases, cloud, and whatsoever nitty-gritty about computers and programming, high-level languages, all those stuffs that you really missed being a computer science graduate or whatever. So it really helps you bridge the gap. So then your steps. So okay, just so your steps. So I've designed these 4 steps for everyone to help us walk towards a very profounding profile. So just a bit. I have just a second. I have something blocking my screen. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so we have so your step shapes your profile. So the very first step, so if you look at the design I've added to the step doesn't really matter. Someone could come from the start and climb 1, 2, 3, 4, while some persons could just go behind and climb the ladder and start coming down 4, 3, 2, 1. Either ways, it would still be easy because actually in tech, what I've personally experienced, there is no one way. So everything is kind of very choked and dynamic. So the parts I could take, I took probably would be different from the parts Mr. B, Mr. C took. And at the end of the day, we all get there. So it doesn't really matter which part we took. So I just have these 4 steps for us. And after that, we also have a look at, they also contain how we can take care of our our career as a tech enthusiast. So the very first one is project-based learning module. So this one is very, very personal and important. So I'm still going to have a slide for everyone. So I'm just going to list them for now. So, and also follow who no road. So this is a Nigerian pidgin. So just apologies for using it. So which is a mentor. Then the third one, your digital life. And the fourth one is OpenStack. So I'm going to start. So the very first one is project-based learning approach. So in the beginning, when we started, and one of the short comments we had was that we just thought we could just go to YouTube and follow somebody just how to do this in Python, or find a Python course or JavaScript course, or probably just find a book and just a mere book and that's all. So it won't really get you there. You know, when you do a project, you're forced to connect all the interconnected systems together. For example, you're building a project, you are forced with database, you are forced with deployment, and if you've not deployed before, everything is just on your system. There are really a lot of glitches that you won't be having the privilege to work with. So if you're working on a project, you'd be forced to work with all those production based systems that if it's only you developing on your system or your personal PC, you won't really have the privilege to work on. So project-based learning approach gives us that insight to working towards using a learning model that drives our learning through project solving. So the very first, I'd like to mention 3 points. So the very first point is recommended readings, which includes textbooks. So personally, I prefer textbooks over videos. The reason being that textbooks, they go into the nitty-gritty of what we really need to learn. So for textbooks, there's one tips that I like to drop that I normally do. So before I start reading any book, I don't just take books and read. So I do thorough search on Google. So I go to Google and ask what is the best book in, for example, Golang in 2023. So I open like 20 or more links. And then at the end of the day, I get one book that is continuously repeating itself. So that's how I get the best. I don't just pick. So at the end of the day, you find out that the book you are reading is a book that a lot of persons have recommended. So they've read it. You're not the first person. You're not the sample for that book. So I'd recommend us to do that. So, and also articles, then newsletters. So most of us, we don't subscribe to newsletters. So newsletter is very important so that they help you to get the latest development in that area, and also GitHub project. So you can let us build our learning model by going to GitHub projects, forking those projects, and at the end of the day, looking at how they have gone about those projects. There are tons of projects that you're struggling with. You don't need to disturb yourself. Just go to GitHub, type a project on, for example, this project, web-based, let's say, cryptocurrency project on Django, and at the end of the day, you see that a lot of persons have done open source projects that are open on GitHub, and you can just fork them, download them, and see how these guys have connected their parts. So it really helps you to simulate your learning goal. So at the end, for us, when you want to learn, like in school, when you want to learn how to write, they ask you to read a lot of books. Like normally for writers, they read a lot. So for developers, why don't we study codes a lot? We don't tend to do this. So the GitHub projects will really help you to do that. Then the second point is course projects. So when you go to YouTube, don't just pick anything you see on YouTube. So just pick on somebody building a project. For example, a full stack, probably a React, let's say, video player or whatever. So just make sure that your project is hitting on something, and you can follow them, and it really helps you than just learn React from beginning to advanced. And at the end of the day, you have 60 or 70 videos, you can't finish, you stop at 22, and you give up at 22. So that's because you're just learning through a series of long chain. But if you work on projects, you're forced to pick your parts from all the nuances of React. So, and also Udacity is also a platform that is very nice. Their courses are cool, and admonish us to try it out. And also Udemy. So before you choose a course on Udemy, you should choose courses that are bestsellers. So anytime I take course on Udemy, I don't just take courses. So ensure that the course has tag of bestseller after you've done your search before you take the course. And lastly, the boot camps. So for boot camps, I personally recommend Angela Yu. Angela Yu is a medical doctor. She graduated from medicine, and she jumped into coding, and she's very wonderful. So she has boot camps all over Udemy. So she also has a personal website. If you type her name on Google, you're going to see that. But once you also go to Udemy, Udemy. She has a lot of courses on Python, web development, React, and the rest. So, and also Flutter, one of the best courses in the world on Flutter mobile development. So I recommend her very, very well. Then the second one is follow who know road. So this is a mentor-based approach. So apologies for the numbering, I had missed the top. So follow who know road is a mentor-based approach that you shouldn't leave yourself in the, let's say, zigzag model of learning. So that means you go back and forth without having a path. So what's really best for us is to follow someone that has tread the path, because I could remember in 2014 when I started learning Python, I used almost 6 months to learn classes like functions and classes. In fact, close to a year, I was struggling back and forth with functions and classes. But that's because I was doing everything on my own. That was the first time I was opening something like programming or Python. So, and it was I ended up wasting a lot of time. Something you could have really gone through, someone explaining a very neat, clean way to you, or probably they channel you to the best resource you should have gotten. So mentor-based approach is very, very key. So things to look out for in the mentor, for getting a mentor, we have number one, has a good career score, and the sense that they are very, very successful in their career. The number two, willing to teach. The number three, has time for you, because this two and three works very, very well together. If they're not willing to teach you and they don't also have time for you, you might just have the mentor in the background and nothing is really, really happening. Then for the next one, I have what's required from a mentee. So I have also 3 points, which is respect and humility towards the person mentoring you. We also have profile must align. This is very important. Like somebody that is proficient in, let's say, that is DevOps engineer, you want to ask him to come and teach you React. So that means he has to go and study some stuff on React before he could teach you your React. So make sure that the person is excelling in the same field, so he doesn't have to think about anything before he teaches you. Then for the third one, I have learning through project-based approach, which is yours or theirs. So for example, some persons just message or people, let's say people they think could mentor them, and they just ask them to teach me this. No, you don't do that. That's rubbish. So what you do is that, for example, just tell them, Mr. A, I have this project. I've started working on this, so I'm quite stuck, and I don't know how to integrate the Ethereum blockchain to my project. So how do I do that? So he already has a sense of that. Okay, you're serious. You've started something. So let's see how we can do this. So, and also ask them, because these guys they're working on, probably some of them have 2 or 3 platforms. Most of them are freelancers and all those things. So ask them. They have project that you can contribute. They have projects on GitHub that they can add you to, and it also improves your learning model, because the level they're working with is kind of high. So anything you don't understand, they're always there to explain to you, because it's their project. So it's the way to key into them. Don't just ask them, be my mentor, teach me this, teach me that. He doesn't have time for you. So make sure that your goals align, in the sense that is your project, you've already started something, or is their project and you're willing to learn. So then the next one is digital life. So for digital life, I think this is where the LinkedIn and GitHub comes in. So I'll just go to the next. So your online presence should say a lot about you. So I've specifically chosen these two just to make sure that we don't bore ourselves with the tons of social medias out there, or profiles. Though there are the other ones that are very, very good, but I'll just stick to these two for this talk. So GitHub and LinkedIn. So for GitHub and LinkedIn, in fact, as a developer, I think this two is okay for you. Others could be bonus. So GitHub, like we all know, is a place we showcase our projects. Is a repo that you can collaborate with everyone, and it says a lot about you. So we're still going to talk about that. Then LinkedIn is in fact, these days I prefer somebody asking me for my LinkedIn profile than my resume, because LinkedIn is just very, very easy, and the updating methodology, it says a lot. It has a lot, and you don't have to go through pages of resume, dump resume, and all those stuff. So I'll start with LinkedIn. So have you ever visited someone's profile and all you could think about is you look good, you look good. So that's the perspective you feel or you have when you visit an awesome project, or someone's project that is someone's profile, sorry, that is very, very wonderful. So what are the tips for those profiles? So I've added some tips for us to take home. So at the top of the screen, you can see a link. So this link has information about how you should tailor your profile. So I'll share the slide along to everyone. So just make sure you visit the link. It's very, very good and great. So the very first one is a good background, which is the cover photo and a profile. So most persons they add something. I'm still going to show us an example. So let me just do the talking first. So most of us, we don't add a profile photo, and even our cover photo is nothing to write home about. So we should add a good one. Then our headline, for example, a software developer at so or a this a that. Let it be very clear at what you do. Then your pronoun as well, and also a wonderful about story. So your about tells a lot about yourself. So just tell them your career. So if once they read you about, they can easily tell that you've done this, you've done that. This is your whole life in summary of like 15 to 20 lines. So that's just all about your about, but make it very, very wonderful and catchy. Then the second point is to highlight your skills, a well-curated experience. So for skills and experience, especially experience, I'm still going to show us an example today. Experience is very, very key, because to me, that's the heart of your LinkedIn profile. So, and most when recruiters visit your profile, that's the very first place they go to see what you've done, when you've worked, and the number of experiences you have. So I used to tell my peers, my colleagues and friends that even if it's an internship, just put it there. It's just the English. Make sure that you touch the English. Make sure that everything you've done, no matter how small, if it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even if it's a boot camp of 1 week, add it there. So whatever it is, don't be shy to add experiences to your LinkedIn profile. Then there's also a section for projects. If you have any projects, make sure you add them. Internships, very, very important. There's a section for internships. I don't shy away from that. So I have internships that I've added as well, and also volunteer section. So volunteer is very, very key. In fact, to me, I've been doing a lot of volunteer roles. In fact, once they are too much, I just run off and tell them I'm sorry. So volunteer is very, very key, because volunteer takes you where you couldn't imagine in a very short time, because it's free. You're doing it for free. There's no pay, there's no catch. So they will easily recognize you. So at this juncture, I just want to plead with everyone on this call. If you've not had any volunteer roles, especially international companies, just try on LinkedIn. I don't have that on my talk, but go to LinkedIn. If you go to jobs, there's on the jobs filter, there is a section for volunteer jobs. So just click on, put that filter on volunteer, and you can see all the volunteer used worldwide for a search. So, and you'll see tons of volunteer roles, and if you have a good profile, they'll pick you, and the volunteer would steer you further and give you a lot of stand on the international stage. Then thirdly, also share relevant content, create your own posts. Some persons are very, very engaging, so it helps them to be very, very lively, and their profile to be very active. So if you have posts, don't be shy to post them. People post write-ups on LinkedIn, so you don't need any magic wand to have a post on LinkedIn. Please kindly do that. And also fourthly, add the relevant people in your field. That, for example, there's one style I normally use personally, because for example, if you check my profile, you see about 8K connects. All those 8K, they are not just random people, because all the people in my connections are developers. I just sit down, do this randomly, just build your profile. And it's not that I want too many followers. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not boasting about it. But what I'm just telling you is that I've created a series of connection that if once I open my LinkedIn, I see lots of beautiful stuffs about developers, about what I'm working on, programming, DevOps, and all those things. So those are the people and weekends, I just sit down for 5-10 minutes. I'm just going to add developers. I'm just going to add engineers. I'm just going to add DevOps engineers. So just kindly create a time for you to do that. It helps your LinkedIn profile to be rich, and you have information, internship, jobs coming up, and the post gets to you. And fifthly, we have always share your achievements and certifications. So anytime you have a certification from anywhere, kindly post it on LinkedIn. It also helps to improve your profile and also your visibility. Then lastly, to make a custom URL, this is very, very important. So some profile, I'll still show you from the sample I'm going to show us. So your profile URL should be customized. So it shouldn't be that long number, BZA2YZ. No, those ones are too long when you add them to your resume or whatever platform. So kindly use the customized one. You can just search on Google how to customize my LinkedIn URL. Then also set your profile to public. Don't make it private, and when they search, they can't see a lot of of information, and also turn on creator mode. So the creator mode will help you to give you more features to, have engagement with the audience. Then I'm going to show us the sample. So I saw the sample online from the blog post I added, which you can view personally after the talk. So, and you can see the very first thing is the LinkedIn URL. You can see linkedin.com/in/Andre Kurtui. So you can see it's just his name. So this is how you do. This is how mine is also. Mine is linkedin.com/Ahmed Rufai OZ. So there's no extra number. There's no all those rubbish number at the end of the day. So this is how a professional profile should look like. Then secondly, his cover photo. You can see the cover photo. Even if you are a dumb human being, you can easily tell that this guy is a resume writer. All he does is resume, resume, resume. If you need a resume builder or someone to help you with your resume, he can help you with it. You can easily tell. So let your cover photo tell what you can do. Don't put a cover photo that is doing A while your career is on B. Then also his profile photo, just your headshot, snapshot. That's what we want. Not you in a party. Like your full from head to your legs is too much. Just this headshot. Then okay, if I move from here, you can also see his heading. So very, very short and apt. The next, I will show us this profile as well. So Alexandra Siabocharo. So the about, you can see the about is also very, very clean, well spaced, and not too much, about 15 to 20 or so lines. So this is how your about should be. It should talk about you, should talk about what your focus is, what you do, and what you look forward to. Then the experience section. The experience section is also key, like I mentioned earlier. So our experiences, if you have done a lot of roles in a particular company, you should, once you start adding them on the same company, it will start adding as a tab, just like this. So you have co-founder, you have co-founder again, okay? So, and if you have links to LinkedIn gives you that privilege. If there are links or photos to projects you've worked on or what you're working on there, it gives you that levity. So make sure your experience is very, very rich. Then for featured section, so this featured section shows your post. So if you have engaging project or post or whatever, so you can easily add them on this featured. And once someone views or opens your profile, they can easily see what's going on, what you've done, what you've worked on. So it's really, really key. Then the next one, the endorsement. So we've talked about this as well. So the endorsement is also very key. So if you have friends or colleagues or that you've worked with, just ask them to endorse you, and also your skills. Make sure you take time to impute your relevant skills. Then also recommendation. Recommendation also speaks well of you. So it speaks behind you while you're not there. So it shows that you can work. So something you can request. There's an option on LinkedIn, request for recommendation from your friend. So from your colleague, in fact, from your enemy, you can ask for recommendation from them. At least they won't talk bad about you. So make sure you request for recommendation. Okay, so it really says a lot about your profile. Then we move to GitHub. So for GitHub is every developer should definitely knows GitHub. So I'm just going to point out one of the few facts we have written down for us. So for the very first one, have a profile photo and a standard README. In fact, this having a standard README is like almost 70% of your GitHub profile, because it says it has the opportunity to say a lot about you. So please, I would implore us to, when you get this slide, this link under the profile photo and standard README. This is an app this Indian crazy guy has developed. So it helps you to develop a very, very nice and wonderful README. So just copy the link and put it in a browser, and all you have to do is just input your information, select your languages, select your this, and at the end of the day, the README comes out beautifully, and you can copy it and just paste it on your README section. So please ensure that you do this. Then the second one, add a portfolio website using GitHub Pages. So your portfolio website, probably you know what a portfolio is. It's just a website that shows you what you do, just like it's just like another version of a resume. So, but it's an online page, so you don't have to go, you don't have to bother about maybe hosting and whatever, looking for maybe any cloud service to go and be paying them $20 per month. So just use GitHub Pages. So this link that I've also added shows you how to create a portfolio with GitHub Pages. Then for the third one, frequently push changes to your account and keep your push progress up to date. So even if you are not working with any firm, if you're on your own, just work on some projects, ensure that you push almost every day, because at the end of the day, you all know how your GitHub looks like. So there's a tab that shows just like your history or your progress, that shows how frequently you've pushed to GitHub. So it's not good if it's too empty. So just make sure that you're always active in pushing. Then the fourth one, ensure you push standard and mature projects on an average to your repository. So this one is very key, because some persons would, for example, write an HTML and CSS, maybe let's say just a one page, out to maybe just very dumb one page, and then push it to GitHub, and you expect your recruiters to come see it and think that you're very good. So please kindly work on projects, use other people's projects and follow them, work with them, like work on standard projects, and you can come on your own, build your own standard projects and push to GitHub, because at the end of the day, when they go through your GitHub repo, so they're going to see all these projects, and it really tells a lot about you, not just dummy HTML, CSS projects. Then the fifth one, you should use your connection, friends, colleagues, and to improve your fork and likes for a project. So you have projects, please invite your colleagues to fork them, to like them. So the number of likes and stars and forks it has also tells a lot that you are active in the development community. So kindly ensure you do this. You have the privilege to do that. Don't skip it. Then lastly, to also contribute to open source project. This is very, very important, because for the open source, it gives you, in fact, I can't even start to mention, it gives you numerous benefits on development and contribution and collaboration, and working on probably that area or niche of development that you need to improve on. Please kindly do that on GitHub. You can go to GitHub and you'll find projects that's a lot of projects there. So if there's any issue, you can just raise a PR and start collaborating from there. So if you don't know how to collaborate on open source, you can just go to Google, type, or YouTube, how to start my open source journey. You'll see lots of great articles to get you started. Then this is an example, a sample example I've seen. So I just want to share it to us. So this is a GitHub profile of the guy named Scott Moss. So you can see his push history. So this is what I was telling you earlier. And you can see his pinned repositories. He has repositories about 108, stars 174, followers 1K, and following 28. So your profile should start reading numbers. Everything should not be zero. Because if everything is zero, imagine I'm a recruiter and I come to your GitHub profile and I see a profile like this, that repository is 2, stars 0, followers 0, following 0. I bet you, even if I'm your brother, I won't hire you. Even if I'm your twin brother, I'll ignore you. If I want to give you work, I'll just give you admin work at my company. I won't give you a developer work. Why? Because there's nothing to show for it. So why would I? So even if you know it, because these people, your profile is the very first thing they come to. So in this case, these persons, they don't know you at all. They just go to your LinkedIn, your GitHub, that's all. So when they see 0, 1 repository, 0 stars, 0 followers, they just felt they'll feel very, very down. So kindly make sure your activities is ongoing. Then have repositories or projects that you feel is very, very key, or that are very mature, that you can pin. So when they come, they don't have to go through long stories of repository. So just pin very, very important projects that can get you there. So that's that about GitHub. Then I also added this for example, Rashmi Jadhav. So you can see the GitHub profile. The README is very, very nice and wonderful. She introduced herself, what she does, what she uses, and what she wants to do. And you can see the languages she uses, and just like a summary of her GitHub profile statistics. So this is what your README, this is how your README should look like, because your README really, really tells a lot about you. Just put a nice photo, and once your README is cool, every other thing will be very, very nice. Please kindly use the README generator I added earlier. Then for OpenStack, so for OpenStack, I choose to use this word. If I'm talking about OpenStack, not the other OpenStack, that you can use to build maybe probably your own cloud service in your own maybe background. So, but this OpenStack is just talking about what we have, areas you can leverage in, so that are currently open, that you can just vouch for, just jump in there, just start it, and it can really, really skyrocket your profile, your career. Because if you don't have a career, there is nothing to write about. Your profile would be very, very suffering and very minimal. So the very first one is volunteer. So we talked about this earlier. So it's also here. It shows you how important it is. I myself, in fact, I can't even, my first volunteer at South Africa was very, very wonderful. And it was the gateway. And you know, the funny thing, I've used that volunteer to gain a lot of privileges currently. So once they say that I'm a volunteer, I've done this program. Wow, they will say, "Wow, you've done this." So it's a step for you. So if you don't have a volunteer role that you can hold on to, you're applying for masters. Even for those that want to improve on their education, your masters, PhD, all these things, they give you edge over just a random guy that doesn't have any volunteer roles. Imagine you volunteer at South Africa, Nairobi, you have volunteer in Rotterdam, whatever. So it gives you that big presence. Then for freelance is helps you to work on projects that are challenging, because the what you're working on is other person's project. So they just come to you and they give you this project. You said you're good in Python. Please, I have this project. Kindly help me to do that. So that's what we register on. So, and we know we all have lots of platform on that does this freelance, like Fiverr and the rest. So just we all know that. Just Google those and you can see a curated list of freelance platforms that are there. Then the third one, open source contribution. So we've also mentioned this earlier. So also repeating it shows its importance. Please, if you don't know, if you've not contributed in open source before, please kindly check YouTube, Google your settings on how to get started. So open source is nothing but just collaborating on an open source project, okay, that would benefit everyone. Like there are tons of projects that are open source out there. I can't even start naming them. So you just go there, also have the fork of the project, and look at how you can improve the project. So once you find a lapse or a bug that you can improve, you can solve, you've become an open source contributor. Just talk to them through a PR, like that. The chat comes in. Once they see that your bug, your solution, your problem they're solving is a good one, or a feature you're adding is a good one, they would accept. Then bootcamps. So bootcamps is also very, very key. We saw it earlier, and it's also coming again. So these bootcamps, they force you to push beyond your boundaries, because when you have a bootcamp and they say this bootcamp is 1 week and you have to build a product at the end of the day, so it forces you to learn, and learning in peers has something to do with the speed of learning. So you see that you learn faster when you are learning with a colleague, with someone, okay. So then only you on your table it will be a bit very slow, but once you see that your peers are doing great things, you'll be forced to move beyond boundaries. So please, let's try and engage on boot camps. You can try the Angela U that I sent earlier, had boot camps on Udemy. In fact, it's one of the best boot camps I've seen. Then technical writing. So technical writing forces you to read on topics, on areas or niches of development that ordinarily you won't have those in-depth clue about, okay? So when you're forced to write, for example, a 250-page article on, for example, on Next.js, so you definitely look at the fact that you have to look at the documentation, look at how it can help you to create your project, how does it improve its features from the plain React and all those things. So you are forced to look at details on informations about that area or niche. So technical writing, if we don't do technical writing, let us try to have a mind or a like for it. It's really, really great. Then lastly, we have continuous improvement. So continuous improvement is constant key in our life. So that's how we stay very relevant. So please, let's try to continuously improve. Your profile today, you've created it today, doesn't mean your profile is constant key. So you improve next week, next month, start looking forward to how to update them, how to make it better, how to make it improved. So every day, every week, every month, every year, you're constantly changing. Your profile is constantly improving. Your career, your learning, everything is constantly improving and also changing. So that brings me to the end of my talk. So at this point, we would take questions or comments. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed Rufai. I mean, I think that was really more of the practical aspect of the things we could do to, build a good tech profile. Although, even though it was a little bit tilted into the coding aspect, I think. Do you have any other do you have anything to say concerning those that are not, writing codes? Because I'm sure a lot of persons are hearing Python, this, that, and they're wondering what is it? I'm not a developer, so how can I build a good tech profile if I'm not a developer and I don't use GitHub?
Okay, thank you. Nice question. So, the thing is that you don't have to be a developer before you could have a fantastic and wonderful GitHub profile or LinkedIn profile. So the only thing you need is information about what you do and being good at what you do. For example, let's say what you do is let's point out let's say okay, let's just say you are a resume writer. Okay, resume writing is not something technical, is not on coding. So, but your LinkedIn profile, for example, could tell you could see this example that we added. If you can still see my screen, let me just go to that point. So this guy is a resume writer. He's one a co-founder and all this stuff, and his profile looks so good. It looks so wonderful. So just try and check this link. Check this link. You'll see a lot about that profile. So it doesn't matter. So the only thing you need is information about what you do and being good at it. So even if it's resume writing, as small as resume writing, please have information about what you do. Make sure you can give us all the best uh anything anyone can think about that field. So whatever field it is, it doesn't really matter. So just bring your own taste and bring your own your great performance to your LinkedIn profile. So everything you've done, especially the resumes you've written, whatever project it is, just put them on your and whatever experiences or internships you've done in the past, just put it. So it's to me, it's a personalized stuff. So whatever you do, just make sure you add them. So if I do development, I add it. If I do resume writing, I add it. Even if I'm a baker, if in fact if you give me the job today to for example give me the LinkedIn profile to write a very good LinkedIn profile about your catering service, and you have all the details, all the works you've done, all the cake you've baked, and all those stuffs that you took this very fine snapshot of, all those things, you put them in your feature, your project, just put them there. And all, there's also to me it's a personalized stuff about all your experiences, everything you've worked on, and what you've done. So it doesn't really matter what niche it is. So, and if you're not a technical person, LinkedIn is fine for you. It's not a recommendation that you have to get a GitHub profile. So LinkedIn will do a lot, and I think for non-technical persons is okay for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That's a very good one. So I'd like to take more questions from the audience. So someone is asking, can I have the recording of this? Yes, this session is live stream, so I will share the link to the YouTube, the live stream version, so you can always go over this. Please, more questions from the audience. I mean, if you're in tech and you don't have that profile, that good profile of you, I don't know how else you intend to, like, be known, or you want to put yourself out and you're not, working on yourself, on your profile. So this is a very insightful and interesting session. So I would love that a lot of persons, drop in their questions. But if you want to speak, you can do well by, raising your hand, and I'll call you up to ask the question. I'm still waiting for questions.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That was a lovely presentation. I am in the midst of trying to get the references letters. Just a question on the technicality as well. If I know any person like who works from the manager's level, and I worked as a digital facilitator in NHS, working as a supporting digital support for the GP practices. So could I be able to get reference letter from my manager?
Yeah, so in fact, you can. So and that approach, in fact, is one of the very very best thing you can do. So at as far as you deliver in your work, and your manager knows that you're not a lazy person, because if they know that you're a lazy person, they won't answer you. So if once they know that you're up and doing on your work, you've been delivering fine. So please just make the request to them. You can make it in person or online through LinkedIn or whatever means you can easily get them. So, and in fact, it even speaks a lot about you. So once they say that your manager is recommending you, please make that recommendation. So once you go to LinkedIn, you see that your manager, they are all on LinkedIn. So make that request. In fact, you can, if it's somebody that is approachable, like is very close, and you can approach him to the office also, just speak this about to him, mention it to them that you really need their recommendation or recommendation later. So if it's something you need the letter of the let's say printable formats, you can just draft something. So one of the thing method I use is that I normally draft the letters. So these people are very busy. So please draft the letter. So what you just do is that I have this I need this recommendation letter from you, and this is something I've drafted. So kindly see, vet, edit, and modify. So that way it gives them a kickstart. Because if you give a manager a blank page to start writing recommendation letter, anytime they want to start, they feel very, very, very bad, and they just get away. So in 3 weeks, 2 months, you don't get any letter from them. So just have a draft. So that draft will help them get started. So anything they like, they take it off. Anything they don't like, they take it off. Anything they like, they add in. So it just shows them that you're serious. You already have something started, and you don't have to wait for them to start from the beginning. So I think it's a very good one. If you need a letter from your manager, your supervisor, whatever higher person you work with, kindly make the request. It's a really good plus for your LinkedIn profile and also for a professional career. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, Leila, I hope that has really answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Sadiq, I have these questions. What advice would you give to someone looking to build a thought leadership presence in their specific area of expertise within the tech industry?
Come again.
What advice would you give to someone looking to build a thought leadership presence in their specific area of expertise within the tech industry?
Okay. Thank you for the question. The first thing to take note of is that you have to have mentored people in your area of specialization. You have to have been seen to have coordinated activities, coordinated other people's activities, and as such, you are now playing a lead role in a community of the few people around you that you mentor. In the process, it gives you leadership role, and when you are now making, when you are now presenting a thought on in that area, you are coming from an area of experience, and that doesn't necessarily have to be under this environment. It happens online too. So another thing about it is that that is why I spoke about online community earlier. That online community gives you room to observe activities from different individuals, and then it helps you to learn how to understand different perspectives at which people approach the same issue. So when you are confronted with the opportunity to now provide that leadership role, you'll be able to do that effortlessly. And one of the areas you need to enhance yourself is that you need to have read through articles a lot. Articles gives you opportunity to understand the technical writings on your discipline. And not only that, you also have to contribute too. And that way, you are using it to develop and polish your own skill in that area. Therefore, by the time you now have opportunity of having to provide that leadership role, you'll be able to do that with ease and making a reference to particular project activity, including sites that will be of help. And a lot of exposures is also very key. It's also very important. Exposures in the sense that you have to know what is going on around in your industry. There are developments that happens every now and then. In fact, they happen every day. Changes occur. So you have to be able to keep abreast. You have to be able to keep updated. Okay, and it can only happen through reading of articles, releases that comes up in the media, either in the social media or even in the other contemporary media. So it is very key to get yourself updated constantly to keep ahead. Hope it answers your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that, sir. So someone else is asking in the chat, Mr. Ahmed Rufai, I think I should ask this question to you. The question is, what are some common mistakes to avoid when building a tech profile, and how can they be addressed?
Okay, thank you. That's a very, very beautiful question. So the in fact the 80% of the mistake that everyone should avoid, I myself have fallen into it, and I know it very, very well. So it is what having a multi-dynamic profile. You can do. You have you are a front-end developer, you are a back-end developer, you are a database engineer, you are a DevOps engineer, you are whatever engineer, you are full stack, you are this only you. That's a big flop. If you are a React developer, let us know everything should point to React. We are not saying you don't know about databases, you don't know about Postgres, MongoDB. They are part of it, right? They are part of it. So, but like have a straight focus. Like you can't be an expert in databases and you're also an expert in React. Though we have people at that stage, but what we're saying is that focus, channel your effort on one thing. Just like they say, my jack of all trade, master of none. So the point is that you should, when you're learning, so many, in fact, on the learning process, that's where it starts. Okay, so your learning process is very, very key. Please and please. So because I've been there. So for example, today browsing on YouTube and I see this course, so I'm going to Udemy or whatever platform. So I see this course is very nice, it's very key, everybody's talking about it. Tomorrow I start the course and I've like reached about 12%. So tomorrow I come across this book, or for example this another course, I come across this tech, the number one tech on the floor. Everybody's learning this tech. So I just jump. You find out that you're jumping here and there, here and there, here and there. So those other things are there, so don't allow them to make sway away from your goal. Just have one goal, okay? So, and whatever the goal denotes, make sure you know them. So for React, make sure whatever you need to know about React, A to Z, your tailwind, whatever you need to know, make sure you know them. You still need databases, MongoDB, etc. So make sure whatever app things you need to know that adds to React, let them just complement React. So just be a React developer, and that's all. That's it. In fact, those databases is just a plus, because in a real production environment, you're not going to be the one managing databases. It's just to know, at least just know how to work with them and have that average knowledge. You can have an expert knowledge, it doesn't matter. But what we're saying is that your main focus at every point in time, they should be able to call you, and you can beat your chest that this is what I know, and you can answer any question on it. You're at an expert level, professional level at it. So that's what we're saying. You can know every other thing. That's not our business. All we're pointing out is that you should have something that you're known for. You should have something that you can answer even when they wake you from your sleep. You should have something that's your trademark. That tells a lot about you. So I think basically that's 80% one of the mistakes. Then the last one, the other few ones. Let me just find some others to mention. Is for example, not having a standard profile. So like we mentioned earlier, so your LinkedIn profile does not depict what you can do. I've seen persons, I've seen people that are even better than me on the outside world. Like they are even good than me. They are very great than me. But I have a standard profile than them. So when we apply for this job, or when we're presented out there, they pick me number like times 10 over before them. So like I'll give you an example. When there's a company I joined, and I joined with a friend. We joined together. So, and as at that time, I had done like a just like a mini boot camp about how to write your resume profile, all those things. So just after the boot camp, so I went and did all those things that I learned and implemented them, and my profile was so shiny, was so low, was looking so good. And funny enough, as at that time, I just finished my NYSC. I only did one role. So, but with the way the boot camp went, the way they ask you to, impute your volunteers, your internship, your whatever, even if it's 2 weeks, make sure you elaborate them. All the work that you do, make sure they are very, very, very elaborated. So I have all those things on my profile. And this is my other friend, he doesn't have them. Funny enough, all he knows, in fact, I was just a learner in coding compared to him. He's a very good guy. But at the end of the day, though I'm still okay in terms of what I need to know, but he's very better than me. At the end of the day, my pay was higher than his. Why? Because when they saw our profile, when they saw what we can do or what we could do, mine was very, very much, very detailed, a lot of information, but his own is just a little mini, just the normal branch. So just scratching the head. But as a person, he knows far well, right? And also, you have a profile, then this one will also complement you, what you need to know. For example, I was able to skate through because I could defend it. So I have a profile that I can't defend. So when we did interview, so I wasn't blabbering, I wasn't saying nonsense. So at least, please, no average minimum, like 50% of what, at worst, that's the worst case scenario of what's on your profile. So when you say you know this, and you're being interviewed, you look like them not just. I'm sorry for using this word. You look like a fool when you have a lot of information on your profile and you can't even defend 50% of it. You understand? So it looks very, very somehow and very bad. So we should not do that. So make sure that whatever you have on your profile, you can't defend a good, at least at worst 50%. So, and if you can defend everything, good for you, wonderful. That's what we want. Okay. So I was able to get a higher pay because my profile, my everything was sparkling, everything detailed, but his own. And later when we were doing the work, I was even asking him questions about some things because he knew more than me. So he was now teaching me about some stuff. But at least the one I know, I could defend, and my profile was glamoring. So I think those are just the few three things I will mention. Just in a summary, make sure that your profile is well littered. You have a lot of information on them. Make sure you can defend them, and make sure your profile is on one thing. Like don't do everything. Most of us, in fact, the reason I'm buttressing this one is that I've been there. I want to learn everything. It's just that zeal most of us do have. You want to learn this, you want to learn back end, front end, you want to learn only you. So please just try, choose one thing, go back to your seats. This is what I like, this is what I want to do. There's a prospect in this, do your research. There's a prospect in this. Don't start learning something that will die in mid of 2024. So make your research, a prospect, put your career, base it on something that is long lasting, all those stuffs, and start working on them, and don't divert too much. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed Rufai. Please, if you have more questions, I would love that you drop them in the chat. We could take one or two, but in the absence of none, I would like to tailor this to both speakers. So, if you could give, I'll start with Mr. Sadiq. If you could give one piece of advice to someone starting their journey in tech and the process of building a tech profile, what would it be?
Okay, thank you very much. Something that's, there are two ways to it. If you are somebody that is just out of school and you happen to be a graduate of computer science, okay, it's different from if you have read other courses to the industry. And if you are not coming from an area of computer science background, and you want to go into it, what I have done that I also advise is that if and you have your area of specialization is not in IT, you try to pick a program that will be a point of convergence to the what I've read in the school. I give you an example. In my own case, I read statistics in the school, and I've been an individual that is quite passionate about creative. So even while I was in school, we used to go for courses with the computer science class. We combine classes occasionally. Then we have offered computer science courses while they offered mathematical courses with us. So, and because of my interest in programming, even then, I have had opportunity of even being the best in a programming task because of my creativity. And then by the time I now finish with statistics, I decided to go and read full blast programming courses. By the time I took it to a level, I now discovered that I have an ample opportunity to backtrack into a data science, which now carries it, the area of statistics. So when I develop applications, they give me opportunity to generate data. And data in itself provides raw material of input into the area of data analysis, okay, in the area of data science. So I'm able to now use my background as a trained area to data science professional training in IT. In addition to the fact that I am an application developer. So that the number of years you have studied in the university, that's why I started.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't hear him again. I think his network, maybe.
Okay, okay. Okay, so prior to when he can, rejoin and we can hear him, I would like to ask the same question to Mr. Ahmed Rufai. If you could give one piece of advice to someone starting their journey in tech and also in the process of building a tech profile, what would it be?
Okay, thank you. So I would mention only one thing and I'll buttress on it. The only one thing you need starting out is purpose. Like you should not be doing tech because everybody's doing tech. You shouldn't be running around because everybody's running around and because tech is the buzzword. You should have a purpose. Like you have a reason behind it. Have something that motivates you. Have a reason behind why you've started this journey, right? So it doesn't matter what area, which field. So and no matter how difficult or simple it is, it doesn't matter. Even if it's simple, if you don't have a purpose, if you don't have a strong reason, determination behind you, after 2 weeks you drop off. Even if it's simple as HTML, so you drop off. So if you have a strong mindset, you have a reason, have purpose, be something driving, have something that drives you that you have to maybe surviving because I think in my own case, I survivor. I have to survive. I did mechanical engineering, and in the markets when I did my NYC, I noticed that they pay mechanical engineers 60 to 70K naira. So if you convert for those that if you convert it to 60 to 70K naira, it's a very small amount for others. Once you do the conversion to your currency, you can easily tell. So I knew that I need to survive. So luckily for me, I had started from school. I've been doing tech freelance from school. So once I get to that background, I said mechanical engineering. I'm cutting waste. I'm cutting that. This is the end of it. Like I just knew that I have to switch totally because I was still contemplating initially like okay I still have these tech skills I learned from school, then I still have mechanical engineering in my hand. So which how should I move? So once I notice the market change and how things are going, because I know that early enough I have people on my shoulders I have to take care of. When you have things that will motivate you, things that won't allow you to sleep, that you should push on. So if you're just starting in tech, please have a purpose, have something that pushes you, have something that that motivates you at every point in time. Have a reason behind it. Okay, if it's to survive, fine. If it's something you like, if it's just the love of it, the love of tech, you like it, you're into IT, fine. But the only thing you ever need is that you need something to drive you. And in addition, like bonus point to that, once you're starting off, please make sure your fundamentals is key. You're just starting and you want to learn React. You don't know anything on in tech and you want to go and learn React, you fail. So please know the fundamentals or basics of computers, programming, like what all these things are. So that's the reason I've recommended these books. So anything you're starting today, know the fundamentals. React, you don't know HTML and CSS, you want to go and start React. You don't know JavaScript, you want to start React. So there are fundamentals you should know. Please try and trace down your fundamentals. If you're just starting out, know your fundamentals. After your fundamentals, then start from there. You can't be a front-end developer without knowing all these basic fundamentals. You don't even know Linux, all those. There are some little things that are like the slides that I showed us earlier. There are little things, something like this, little things that how does the internet work? You want to be a backend developer. You don't even know how an internet works. You don't even know the nitty-gritty behind it. So like just have fundamental knowledge. So once you seek this fundamental knowledge with your drive and passion for it, the purpose behind it, and your fundamentals is strong, then you would no matter what comes, you would easily break through, and you say that you would thrive, you would succeed because you have your passion that drives you, and your fundamentals are strong. Please, if your fundamentals are not strong, please go back. Even if you're a backend developer now, if you call yourself a backend developer now or front-end developer or Python developer, whatever, please go back to the fundamentals. It is never too late. Please, especially this book, please, even if not this book, look for other fundamentals. But I really recommend this book. Make sure that you read. There's nothing hidden because everything all builds on the fundamentals. There is nothing too new, too no. Everything is still fundamentals. So after the fundamentals, you have your drive. You can jump at React. You have your HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You can start with React, probably Vue, Angular, whatever. So you can start with it. You don't just you are a newbie. You are just learning Python. You will not go any. You won't go far. You don't know anything in tech. You don't have computer science background, and you just want to become a Python developer. You start learning Python. That's not where to start. Please know how computer works. Know the integrity of a computer. How does it process its command? All those things. When they say Python is single threaded, you don't even know what it means. When they tell you something like C++ or Java is multi-threaded. You can't tell the difference. So Python or Java, which should you choose? So you don't even know what this multi-threading, single-threading means. So some very, very little details would help how you decide, would help your career. They would help you thrive in whatever field you're currently working on. Please try on your fundamentals, have your purpose, and you would fed off any challenge you face. Thank you. Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay, thank you. I think her network dropped.
Oh, okay. All right, let me step in for her.
Okay.
Do we have further questions? Do we have anybody with questions? The questions were submitted to her, so I don't know if she have exhausted all the questions given to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she
Can you
has.
hear
Was
me
just
now?
wrapping up. Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay. So I think we've exhausted all the questions here. That's really it. So, because this particular topic is building a tech profile, if you're also interested in having a personalized coaching session, Bincom offers a tech career coaching, which helps individuals to land their next role faster. We also offer a combination of coaching, relevant on the job experience, career referencing, introduction to tech recruiters, hand-holding through application and interview process, and many more. Please do well to join our community. We'll be sharing all the links there, and we'll also love to continue this conversation after here. So we have this on our screen that says follow who know road. So I'm sure you don't want to miss any of this. Thank you so much for taking out time to be a part of this edition of our ICT Career Talk. Thank you so much, our speaker, Mr. Sadiq and Mr. Ahmed. I mean, this was a very, very interesting one for me. I learned a lot, and I'm sure every other person learned a two or three from this session. So please do well to not just learn it, put them into action, get on your LinkedIn, start revamping it, start reworking on it and seeing that you're putting yourself at a better spotlight. Thank you everyone for taking our time to join. Do have a lovely day.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you,
Thank
Mr. Sadiq,
you.
for joining, for your presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, and thank you, Ahmed Rufai.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
You happens to be a brother from your middle name that
Yeah.
I never knew.
Okay.
Yes, I get to
Nice.
reconnect after this
Yeah,
time
we
out.
will reconnect. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, the
I'm really
organizers.
glad.
It has
Yeah.
been a very enlightening one for me too, for even participating. So
Yeah.
I hope we'll have more opportunities to continue to broad minds in this manner. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
definitely. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you, sir.